Good morning. It's been fairly warm around here. Not, I wouldn't call it warm. It's still mid 40s, maybe 50. I can't tell from this angle with the thermometer. Um, but it's a little bit cold out here. But I got a couple things I want to get off my mind, and I figured now is as good a time as any. Um, it's actually a lot on my mind. If this is the post that's going onto YouTube, which probably will, because it's going to be more than 2 minutes that I can post on Twitter to get my thoughts out. Um, this is going to be the first of my political rants on here. I kind of hope to keep it more to the woodworking because that's where we are now. I got everything still laid out in front of me, but there are some things that are just on my mind. I want to talk about. Let me know what you think. For the three of you that'll probably see this, I'm seeing a lot of things when I'm watching news reports. Maria Bartiromo, Caroline Levitt, Trump himself. About how he inherited a mess of an economy from President Biden, and I just want to keep you focused and it's coming at you from all sides because now that they're talking about it, it's on Fox, so now it becomes news, and the right the right senators, the right congressmen will go and start repeating it because, oh yeah, that was on the news, so it must be true, and they keep talking about it. Um, and like the theory goes, the more times you repeat a lie, it becomes, after a while, it becomes the truth. And I got to, remind everybody to stay focused that nothing could be farther from the truth. The economy that Biden had, according to the Wall Street Journal, not a liberal bashing of a paper, was saying how Biden's economy was the envy of the world at the time. When Biden took over, inflation was high. There's no denying that. But there's also, you really can't blame Biden for that inflation being high because of the policies. Generally, I like to think of the economy as kind of a large ship. It's slow moving. It gains momentum. It's tough to turn around, and we've seen that. At least during my lifetime. I'm older a little bit, but from what I can remember from my own personal experience, yeah, I was alive for Reagan and Bush and uh, Clinton, but anyway, I was alive for all that, but I don't really remember it as well. But if you go from the younger Bush, George W, to Obama, economy had tanked. Recession under Bush. Obama took over a literal mess of an economy, turned it around to where things were going well. Millions of jobs created. GDP is up, saved the auto market in the United States. Trump came over. Pretty much all he had to do was not mess up what Obama did, and gave massive tax breaks to the rich. That's the one thing that he really that Trump really accomplished during that first term, which set our deficit through the roof. Um, um, and then COVID hit, which he completely botched. I mean, there's just no other way to put it, which completely tanked the economy. Businesses shut down, people were furloughed, the supply chains just stopped. Because there's nobody wanted to travel back and forth between countries, so that pushed up. We couldn't find toilet paper, couldn't Amazon couldn't deliver stuff. There were just so many things. All those ships off of the coast of California, I think like Los Angeles area, that couldn't deliver because of the supply chain issues. Biden took over from that point. The economy tanked. Jobs, fewer jobs when Biden took over than when Obama left office. So that 4-year gap, there was a dip in jobs, which hasn't happened since Herbert Hoover. And then Biden slowly turned it around. He got it to a point where he fixed COVID. He got the vaccines out, and I was a part of that. I was, as a pharmacist, and I was doing immunizations. Yes, they did come out under Trump. That is something that he can claim. But the distribution of those vaccines was terrible. The fights that we had in the stores trying to get the vaccine into the customers, who was going to get the vaccine, who wasn't, how is it going to be dished out, when are we actually getting them? We have scheduled appointments and we don't have the vaccine yet. Biden came out and it was night and day. We started getting vaccine. Not only did we get them on a regular basis, got to a point where you didn't really have to make appointments. You could just walk in and say, hey, I want my COVID shot. And they were so plentiful, I didn't have to worry about if I broke the seal on that vial, that I had to make sure I could give out 10 doses, because I can't waste this vial because it is precious, to the point where, you know what, if that's what you have to do. There's plenty more where that came from. So we fixed COVID, and then, infrastructure, CHIPS Act, all of these different, pieces of legislation that work to get the economy fixed. He saw a long-term strategy and it worked. Jobs numbers went up every single month, and to the point where they just blew away the expectations of the experts. So Biden left, jobs are good, consumer confidence was really good, and then Trump took over. And generally, I would say it would take months and months to get fixed, maybe in a few years. But however, here it is. What are we, March? Beginning of March, middle of March. We're a month and a half into Trump's new presidency, and the economy is tanking. Jobs are really down, and it's probably going to be even worse as time goes on. But he has done a couple of things very specifically in that short period of time. One, he's been threatening tariffs since before he got elected. Then from the point he got elected, he was saying that he was going to have these tariffs, and he put on the tariffs, and he removed the tariffs, and then he put them back on, and now he's threatening more, and he's taking them away. And at this point, I don't even know what the status of them all are. But that's causing disruption in businesses. Businesses don't know what to do. So they're, when they knew Trump was elected and going to get into office, they started buying supplies that they would need before they got more expensive. And then he took the tariffs away, but that's money that could not be spent elsewhere now. So he did that. The mass firings of all the federal employees, tens, maybe even hundreds of thousands of people that may or may not be fired depending on legal standards. If you're fired, you're not going out and spending money in the economy because you have to save what you have. He's trying to force people into retirement, but at the same time, retirement accounts are tanking at the moment because of the stock market. And then he's trying to stop federal funding. So that's, wide ranging, but part of that is Medicaid, Medicare. If hospitals can't rely on these, and I'm sure this happens for other businesses as well that were stopped, they can't keep operating, which is not good for the economy. So here it is, month and a half, and the economy is already on a big, massive downturn. People are talking recessions. He's saying, oh no, this is Biden's economy, this is the remnants of Biden's economy. But when he took over, we had the best stock market in the world. I mean, it was as high as it ever was. Customers were going out and buying stuff. There were more people working than ever before. So I'm claiming bullshit on the Trump inherited a mess. Like, Trump inherited two separate, very good economies, and all he had to do was stay out of the way and not fuck it up. And he couldn't even do that right. So regardless of what you hear, everything that has happened since January 20th with the economy, completely Trump's fault. Can he turn it around? I hope so, but I'm not really confident, because there's people just yesing him to death because they're afraid of him. But yeah, don't believe that Trump inherited a bad economy. The bad economy is Trump's. This is what people voted for. They wanted a businessman in the office, because they wanted to run the country like a business. I don't know why they'd want to choose him, but don't believe the hype. The economy is the bad economy is solely on Trump's shoulders.